Today is the last episode of season 1. I am stoked. I am excited. Not because I won't be on your screen or on your device for the next 6 weeks, but because I have a guest lineup. At least there are 3 people that I'm excited to talk to and bring them to you as well. So I am super excited for that. And I believe that in this season, sometimes having a break, a rest is necessary. So it's good to just re-strategize to make sure that I am still staying on course. And this show is very much aligned to the goals and the mission that I intended and I started with. With that being said, I want to officially welcome you to the last episode of Made for Influence podcast. Hi, my love. I am Juliet Olabanji, the founder of The Made Org, a premier company that help women root their vision in identity and help them lead from identity to build a legacy level impact. I am also the creator of Rooted Productivity, a framework and identity driven system that help you build momentum and create sustainably without burnout. Welcome. Today, I am going to be talking about the art of choosing. I intentionally made this the last topic of this season because I want you to think about this, reflect on your life, your choices, and go to the other episode that we've discussed from 2025 up until this moment in 2026 and ask yourself this question: am I actively choosing or am I being chosen? Are you actively choosing or are you being chosen? Because if you're not doing the choosing, someone else is doing the choosing. So today I'm going to be dissecting with you the art of choosing. The birth of this podcast was a result of me being laid off. And I'll be lying to you if I told you that I did not know that there would be a layoff. In fact, I saw the writing on the wall. But at that point in time, I was pregnant, about to go on maternity. Applying for new jobs and searching in the job market was honestly not at the forefront of my mind. Maybe you can say I was coasting. I was like, you know what? I'm going to get there when I get there. I don't think that it's going to affect us, even though I'm like, I think it's going to affect us. We're necessary for the business. So why would it affect us? I was in that going back and forth stage, but quite honestly, I was in a phase of life whereby I was having my first child. I was experiencing different aspects of pregnancy, and quite honestly, job security was on my mind because I know that this child needs to be provided for. However, it was not at the forefront of my mind. However, there was a colleague that I highly respect and I saw the move she was making. I acknowledged it, but I did not make that move. And at the time that I went on maternity leave, she also had a FMLA, meaning that family medical leave. But I knew that she used that as a time to transition into a new job. She did not tell me this, but I hinted and I guessed it. I sensed it. I came back from maternity leave and I asked, where is this girl? They're like, well, we don't know. She hasn't been back since. And I knew that this girl is transitioning. She's not coming back. Of course, I believe that there are different reasons why people would try to test out a new job while having a secured one. And I believe that's what she did. She saw the writing on the wall, I believe. And she's like, well, listen, I'm not going to stay here until y'all push me out. I'm going to take matters into my own hands and I'm going to go and search for a job. 3 weeks or maybe even a month after resuming back to work, our director told us that she wasn't coming back. And I sensed it. I was like, well, I knew that already. I felt that that was a very smart and strategic move. And maybe a month after that, or maybe a month and some weeks after that, there was this massive layoff, which I was impacted. And I'm like, okay, thank God I've been thinking about ways to spend time with my baby. This is an opportunity to venture into other things that I've had in mind. So that was my plan. Other people without a plan, without a lineup of job offers, they were severely impacted. And I thought to myself, wow, what if I didn't have this plan? What if I didn't have a husband? What if I didn't have the resources that I have, would I have survived this layoff in this economy, in this job landscape that we're in? And honestly, I don't know if I would have been able to survive it, but I'm here now. What am I driving at? This colleague of mine actively chose, and she is in a much more better place than some other people, not just from my division, but that experience layoff nationwide. When I say let's talk about the art of choosing, I think about the intentional act of being proactive. I think of not being neutral. A lot of people fall into the trap of neutrality just because they are not choosing. I think about the intentional act of leading yourself, leading your future, leading your community, leading your family. That is what it means to actively choose. Now, the first thing I want us to explore is the illusion of neutrality. I said maybe on a TikTok or maybe on a post or something, I am never neutral. There is an illusion that comes with neutrality. People want you to think that, oh, if you're not talking or taking side and you're just actively mute or you're just moving along in your own lane, that means it's a good thing. That means you're neutral. Neutrality is an illusion. The act of being neutral is an act of you choosing. When we think about neutrality with the way the world works, you have to know that there is no pause button on life. While you deliberate, while you coast, while you just sit and say, oh, what am I going to do? The world is moving. The world is not waiting. Other people are choosing your role for you. Other people are choosing the result of your life for you. Other people are choosing the outcome that you have to live with for you. When you are neutral, you limit your chances and circumstances are narrowing your options. You are living in a world where your own inaction is writing a story about your life, a story about who you are, a story about who you get to be. So this is what I want you to take from this. Neutrality is a myth. The absence of a decision in itself is a decision. What are some of the things that you've pushed aside? Some of the things that you don't want to think about? Some of the things that are mentally overwhelming and you said, I'm not just going to decide. Even up to your friends. What are some values that you should stand for, but you're like taking a neutral stance? What are the things that will push you further along if you're wearing neutral? It could be your position at work. It could be how much you make. Oh yes, I'm comfortable. It's okay. I'm going to make do. Neutrality in its purest form is complacency. You being neutral is you being complacent. So think about it. Are you choosing or are you being chosen? Another concept I want us to talk about when it comes to the art of choosing is entropy. We know what happens when you stop choosing, when you stop being intentional. Science gives us a name for this, and it's entropy. Entropy is the concept and measurement of the idea that everything in the universe eventually moves from orderliness to disorderliness without an external force. Without intentional energy input, disorder is not a risk. It is certain. Your life, your identity, your vision, your career, your desires, they are not exempt from this law. Without you deliberately and actively choosing, things will never stay the same. They degrade over time. They drift. They get defined by whatever force shows up with the most momentum. So when you think about how you live your life, the answer is not, should I act or not? Should I choose or not? The answer is, if you don't, who will or what will choose for you? What will do the choosing? Is it AI? Is it the political administration? Is it your parent? Consequences of your previous action? What will choose for you? And it's important to know that when you abdicate your seat of decision, you abdicate the essence of what makes you human. What makes you different from an animal or someone without a normal executive functioning is your cognition and your will. And that includes your power to choose. We can see it in this current landscape. Everything looks alike. Trends become identity. Immoral choices becomes a moral stance. Trends become a personal decision. Desires and likeness becomes an identity flag. That is because people are losing their individuality when it comes to the act of choosing, and they go with the masses because they think it's safer. They go with the masses because they think that is the best option. They go with the masses because they want to be culturally relevant. You may not even support the values of the most obnoxious voice in your generation, but as long as you don't choose, that obnoxious voice is what is going to lead and decide things that you refuse to choose. Your career gets chosen by whoever is the most aggressive in the room. Your career gets chosen for you by whoever has the authority to demote and promote, because you did not choose to announce your value. You did not choose to justify what your value is. Your identity gets chosen by the loudest voice in your history, even though you don't support half of the things that they stand for. Your relationship gets chosen by whoever needs something from you. This is not dramatic at all. And you may be saying, Juliet, I think you're taking it a little bit far. No, I'm not taking it a little bit far. It happens slowly and it cascades. And I think I know why people are not choosing. People are not choosing because they don't know what they want. Choosing requires you knowing what you want. If you don't know what you want, you cannot choose correctly. You're always going to choose amiss or not choose at all. And you know what? I think this is a very bold thing to say, but I think it's better to choose amiss than to not choose at all, because next time you will know what to choose. And I also think that this leads back to identity, and you know I'm going to bring that up. When your identity is weak, every choice feels like a risk. What if I fail? What if I do this? What if it doesn't work out? What if it's this? What if it's that? Oh my God, analysis paralysis. You don't have an anchor to return to if the choice is wrong. Some people say, oh, I admire you. You just look like you know what you want. It look like you're just so certain about this, about that. Honestly, if I'm being honest, half of the time, I don't even know. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just like, I'm going to go. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to reorient myself, go back to the drawing board, and I'm going to push and try again. I uncover as I go. It's not that, oh, this person knowing what to choose is a personality trait. It's never like that. Choosing boldly is not a personality trait. It's not a character. It is a skill that you develop over and over again, because it is a byproduct of a self that has been built, tested, and rooted. A woman that chooses with clarity is not fearless. She is founded on the beliefs that she knows who she is. She is founded on the belief that she knows what she wants. She is founded on the belief that even if it doesn't work out, there are still many and multiple possibilities that will work. It's not the end of the world. But I'm not going to abdicate my decision. I'm not going to abdicate my seat of decision. She is founded on the knowledge that ourself is worth exploring, that choosing is a currency that yields. And when you don't spend that currency, it depreciates. So my question to you today is, what is that one thing that you've been passive about? What is that one thing that you've refused to choose and make a leap on? What is that one thing that you need to actively be intentional about? I want you to go back, evaluate yourself, evaluate your choices, evaluate things that make you feel like I could have done better, and start choosing right. Actually, even choose wrong, but choose. As long as you choose, you would always be on the offensive part. So my love, that is the end of today's episode. And actually, that is a wrap for this season. We are going on a 6 weeks break. And in the meantime, I believe that I am going to drop 1 or 2 episodes during our break. It is an interview of my friend interviewing me. I'm so excited for that. It's a sit down with my friend, just dissecting my upbringing, my midlife, and where I'm at right now. You would definitely enjoy that. That should probably come maybe 3rd week of June or maybe the end of June. So with that being said, I want you to go back to the previous episode if you need to and look at some of the things that resonated with you and work on that during this break. If you want to connect with me, you can connect at Executed by Her on Instagram, Executed by Her on TikTok, and Executed by Her on YouTube. I cannot wait to hear from you. You can also email me at julietolabanji@themadeorg.com. Remember, the execution room is open. This is a room whereby we dissect and we go fully in on the frameworks in the identity-driven execution system to help you produce, gain momentum, create sustainably on those things that you've shelved, those desire, the nonprofit, the business, the goals that you have. It is time for you to bring them to life because living in your head is now where it belongs. It belongs to the people. That is your contribution to your community, to your society, and to the universe at large. I am your host, Juliet Olabanji, and this is Made for Influence podcast. I'll see you soon and stay tuned for season 2.